All right, let's get into this, because it's a wild one. For decades, there's been this one TV show that just seems to know what's coming. We're talking politics, tech, you name it. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on one of the internet's favorite mysteries, the Simpsons prophecy machine. I mean, this is the question, isn't it? It's all over the internet, in all the memes. How on earth does a cartoon about this goofy family from Springfield just keep nailing the future? Are they actually psychic, or is there something else going on entirely?
So first, let's just look at the legend itself, the Simpsons prophecies.
You've definitely seen these clips online. I mean, back in the year 2000, they had an episode with a future where Donald Trump had already been president. They somehow predicted the exact winner of a Super Bowl years before it happened. And get this, they had a joke about a smartwatch all the way back in 1995. It's just spooky, right?
Yeah, when you put those cartoon clips right next to the real-life events, it honestly feels like you're watching some kind of magic trick. But is that what's really happening here?
And that brings us to the big question we're going to tackle. Is it some grand prophecy, or is it just a coincidence? Let's actually dig into the mechanics behind this whole thing.
So if it's not magic, if it's not some supernatural foresight, then what is the secret? What's really going on?
Well, here it is, the big reveal. It's not about magic at all. It's really about math. The Simpsons didn't magically predict anything. They just made thousands and thousands of jokes. And when you throw that much stuff at the wall, some of it is just bound to stick, to look like a prediction.
And this brings us to the first part of the explanation, what we're calling the joke machine. And this is all about pure mind-boggling scale. Think about it like this, right? If you take one shot at a target from a mile away and you hit a bullseye, that is amazing. That's unbelievable. But what if you take thousands of shots? Well, just by pure random chance, you're going to hit that bullseye a few times. That's exactly what's happening with The Simpsons. And the scale we are talking about here is just staggering. Over 30-plus seasons, more than 700 episodes, the show has churned out an estimated 30,000 separate jokes, sight gags, and little plot points. That is a massive, massive number of shots at the target.
So this really gets to the heart of it. There are two ways to see this whole thing. On one side, you've got prophecy, which needs some kind of supernatural power. And on the other side, you've got probability, which is just the simple mathematical fact that when you try something 30,000 times, you're going to get some pretty surprising hits. But you know, the numbers are only half the story. The other half, that's about us, the people watching. And this brings us to what we're calling the coincidence engine, the psychology behind why these random hits feel so incredibly important.
I love this quote because it totally nails the psychological piece of the puzzle. What does it even mean to zoom in? It means we put a magnifying glass on the one or two jokes that came true, and we completely ignore the thousands upon thousands that didn't.
You know, this little mental glitch actually has a name. It's called confirmation bias. Our brains are basically wired to look for proof that confirms what we already want to believe. So in this case, we're looking for proof that The Simpsons is prophetic, and we just automatically filter out all the evidence that says it's not. We remember the Trump joke, but we totally forget the other 29,999 gags that went absolutely nowhere.
So when you put it all together, this whole prophecy machine is really just a super simple two-step recipe. Step 1, get a team of brilliant writers to make tens of thousands of jokes about everything under the sun for over 30 years. Step 2, just wait. Eventually, the internet will find the tiny handful of jokes that accidentally lined up with reality and make them go viral.
Okay, so why should we care about this beyond just a funny cartoon? Because this whole idea, it isn't really about The Simpsons at all. It's a mental model that helps you understand how a lot of things in the world actually work.
The moment you can spot the difference between something that looks like a prophecy and something that's just a matter of probability, you've got this incredibly powerful tool for thinking more clearly. It lets you see the logic behind things that might otherwise seem like, well, like magic.
And once you see this pattern, you start seeing it everywhere. You know those vague horoscopes that could literally apply to anyone? That's the joke machine. Those stock market gurus who make 100 predictions and then only ever talk about the 2 they got right? Same exact principle. The famously confusing prophecies of Nostradamus? That is the coincidence engine working overtime.
So if you only remember one thing from all of this, let it be this simple idea right here. This is the law of large numbers in action. Something that seems completely impossible on a single attempt becomes almost guaranteed to happen when you have tens of thousands of attempts. The improbable becomes inevitable.
So I'll leave you with this to think about. now that you know how the coincidence engine works, what other things out there that we think of as magic are really just a fascinating numbers game?